The future of Iraq may well be decided on the battlefields of Anbar province. There are clashes in the flashpoint city of Fallujah, as well as the provincial capital, Ramadi. Government forces armed with sophisticated U.S.-supplied weapons in the air are engaged in fierce conflicts with militants linked to Al-Qaeda. It's difficult to tell who's winning, with both sides claiming victory. Latest reports have local police and Sunni tribesmen working together in Ramadi and the Iraqi military on the outskirts of Fallujah, poised to launch a major assault to retake the city. Our Nic Robertson is at CNN Jerusalem and is joining us now with some more analysis of a very complicated situation in Iraq. Nic, thank you for joining us. First of all, who holds the balance of power on this battlefield in Anbar?
Well, potentially the Iraqi government could, but if you look over the last year, their presence in 2013, that is, the Iraqi army's presence there has been diminished. They haven't been able to go into the cities of Al-Anbar because the sense and the feeling of the Sunnis there is that the Shia-dominated government of Nouri al-Maliki with the Shia-dominated army is not serving the interests of the Sunni people. That's why there have been demonstrations against them, of which the army has on a couple of occasions gone in very heavy-handed. So ostensibly the army could be the strongest force in Al-Anbar. The reality is that the tribes at the moment have the dominant role to play there, and we can see this in the difference that we're seeing between Ramadi and Fallujah at the moment. Ramadi, the governor there, along with the tribes and the police, working together to keep Al-Qaeda elements at bay. In Fallujah, it's a different picture. The tribes allied with small pockets, we're told, of Al-Qaeda against the army, who, as you say, are poised to attack Fallujah. So it's a mixed picture, but really at the moment it would be pockets of Al-Qaeda and the tribes who have the dominant hand in Al-Anbar. But even that is an oversimplification of the picture there, Relita.
Yeah, there seems to be, we have to keep in mind, there's a difference between people who are protesting, being marginalized by the Shiite-led government. There have been protests, and in fact, breaking down one of these protests led to this latest violence, and also the terrorist insurgency.
Well, and the interests of both the government and the insurgency and the tribes here as well. The government has an interest in portraying the insurgency in Al-Anbar as an Al-Qaeda operation, because otherwise it would be very easy to see it as a civil, as a breakdown between the Sunnis and the Shias in the country, the potential for civil war, if you will. So the government's interest is to sort of galvanize international support behind it, as it is at the moment, by defining this as an Al-Qaeda-led operation. And whatever Al-Qaeda elements exist on the ground in Al-Anbar would rather be perceived as tribal elements right now, because otherwise they recognize that if they appear as Al-Qaeda, and it wouldn't be the first time Al-Qaeda has been advised by its core leaders to not come out as Al-Qaeda, but to come out as a sort of, if you will, as a local force, because they know if they come out as Al-Qaeda, then they will get a much greater international reaction against them, and that's what Nouri al-Maliki is perhaps hoping for here. If he defines all the elements that are uprising in Al-Anbar as Al-Qaeda, he'll get more international support, and there will be more of a blind eye turned to the casualties and fatalities that an ensuing battle could precipitate in the area. So there are competing interests here to portray it one way as purely Al-Qaeda and the other way as this is a tribal thing, a Sunni thing against a Shia government. It's very complex and, of course, very hard to really know the specific details on the ground, but what we do know is that Al-Qaeda has been able to take advantage of a lack of government presence in Al-Anbar and hugely take advantage across the border in Syria of the lack of security there as well, Relita.
Nic Robertson, thank you very much.